FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Good evening and welcome to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FHC Radio, and tonight is actually a big milestone for us. This is October 30th, 2013, and this is episode 20, episode 20.
Yay!
So, yeah. Where's our applause, Lewis?
Sorry, I'm
Arvin's going to get it. Don't worry about it.
Arvin, thanks. Dude.
All right, there we go.
I'm lagging.
There we go. So, yeah, exactly. So we are very, very proud to be here, and it's just been a great run so far with great guests, great topics, lots of good information about food, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle topics. So we welcome all you FireHouse Chef community listeners to continue to be a part of it. Make sure you give us a call. The number is 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, R-A-N-T. I am Eddie Sell, the host of FireHouse Chefs Radio. I'm a fire captain here in Southern California and a chef, as you guys know. And tonight I'm joined by my co-host, Luis Hernandez. Luis is a firefighter paramedic here in Los Angeles County, and he's also the vice president of the Boys and Girls Club of East Los Angeles. Luis also is a CERT trainer, right?
Instructor, yeah.
Instructor, okay. And that's what this whole show is going to be about. So you're going to get to learn what CERT actually stands for in the next couple of minutes. So he's the perfect co-host for tonight's episode. And like I just kind of teased, what we're going to be talking about is disaster preparedness. And whether you live in California, Florida, the Midwest, there are always, unfortunately, natural disasters that occur or man-made disasters. So it's a very, very important topic, and we're glad that there's people like the people that you're going to meet tonight that are going to be able to give us some great information on how we can do to not only mitigate it, but become very, very active within their community and lend a hand to their fellow neighbor in the time of need. So that's just going to be, Luis is going to be able to attest to a lot of these different things tonight. Remember, you can catch FireHouse Chefs Radio every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at rantradionetwork.com, also at firehousechefs.com. And you can also find all of our archived episodes at rantradionetwork.com. So episode 20, man, here we are.
It just flies by.
Yeah, and I did want to say a quick little shout out to Chef Don. He's down there in San Diego County. He has the duty coverage in San Diego County. So
it's like every day.
Lately, it's been every day. The poor guy needs to retire.
He's wanted. Everybody wants him. Everybody wants him on duty.
So, and with that, since we have actually a very packed show tonight, we have some great in-studio guests and also some callers. So because of that, we want to go ahead and get going on that segment right now, as a matter of fact. So I'm actually joined in studio by 4 guests, and 2 of them are going to be uniformed personnel that we're going to start off with. And we have from the Los Angeles Fire Department, we have Captain Stacy Gerlich and Captain Keith Scott. Applause, Arvin.
Yeah. Come on, Arvin.
Holy moly. I'm sorry that I didn't get his Starbucks today. He's a little bit slow. So,
hey, show me some respect, boy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up, and we're gonna let the captains talk about who they are, their backgrounds, and how it relates to tonight's topic, which is disaster preparedness, and what CERT is all about, and all that good stuff. So, you guys go ahead and get started.
Great.
Yeah, either one.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on 20th episode. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
And also thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come down and share what we do with your audience. CERT, as you stated in the beginning, does stand for the Community Emergency Response Team. We at the Los Angeles Fire Department, we teach a CERT course, which is 17 and a half hours. And basically what it does is it covers a number of areas. It covers earthquake awareness, fire suppression techniques that people can use, medical operations, multi-casualty incidents. It's demanding, but it's well worth it. When you think about it, the fire department, especially after budget cuts and things like that, they're running pretty close to what they need to be running at.
Very thin, yeah.
Thin, yeah. Didn't want to say it, but that's actually actually the truth right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we can handle the day-to-day calls. But when that disaster hits, and we've seen them here in Southern California, it can be an earthquake, it can be rain, floods, wildfires, wildland fires. The fire department quickly becomes overwhelmed. Now, a lot of people say, well, you've got other fire departments that can come in and help, but they're kind of in the same situation too.
Right.
So all the experts are saying that everyone should be prepared to take care of their own emergencies for at least 3 to 4 days in the event that a large-scale disaster hits. And again, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And Captain Gerlich?
Yeah, so, again, congratulations to
Thank
both
you.
of you, to the whole show, and thank you for allowing us to come in and share our knowledge and to get the message out about disaster preparedness and really to hopefully take away a lot of the anxiety that is involved with the preparedness, the whole idea, right? It's real easy to kind of say, it's not going to happen to me, and we know statistically that at some point in time it will, and we watch these disasters and catastrophes happen all around us, and it's just a matter of time.
Right.
So the question that I think that we would really want to bring tonight and make sure that we resonate with the citizens, right, is that everyone needs to play a part. And on a Monday through Sunday, there's no disaster happening and you need to call 911. Hey, you know what? Absolutely. We're right there. We're always there. But as Captain Scott said, we're going to be inundated just like everybody else during that disaster.
Right.
So we need everyone to get on board. And you can either go through the CERT program. There are other opportunities for training, just general preparedness. But the main message that I want to leave is that, you need to have a plan. You need to build a kit. And you need to get informed. And whatever that means to all of our listeners, however you want to do that, you want to do it internet-wise or in the book, in the library, whatever, you need to get prepared, all of us, because we will do much better coming out of that event if we're all, a little bit more prepared. And that just means do one thing tonight that you haven't done yet. Go get a flashlight, go get new batteries.
Something.
Something.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point. And I think most people... you kind of get lumped into the category that it's not going to happen to you. And doing what we do as far as our line of work, we know that that's exactly what happens. It happens to all of us on any given day, and that's what defines an accident. You have no idea what's coming. And so I think it's great that you're bringing that up. And even what Captain Scott was mentioning earlier as far as everybody's in the same boat as far as first responders. So, in the past, we were really lucky with mutual aid and automatic aid and all that. But when everybody else is in the same boat and has cut resources, then next thing, when your neighbor's knocking on that door, they're like, sorry, we can't give you an engine or we can't give you anything. And the fire service has had to adapt to all those different changes. And it's been quite challenging. So I totally agree that now, more than ever, it's important to train the community at large into some of these basic things, and so they can literally fend for themselves and not just watch Doomsday Preppers or something.
And it's equally important for those of us in uniform or professionals, right? That we are prepared and we've prepared our family as well, because the citizenry need, everyone needs to understand that, yes, we are here for you. We work 24-hour shifts. That's where our passion is. But, if we're not prepared ourselves as the first responders, we're not going to be able to take care of, the citizens at large.
Okay.
So it's a good message, right? Because it goes back and forth. It's practice what you preach.
Exactly.
Now, we do have a caller on line one, and I just also wanted to mention really quick that we also at some point might have from the LA Fire Department Battalion Chief Patrick Hayden calling in, and possibly even a city council member. But once our in-studio guest, Nathan Wolfstein, who is the chair, don't slap me if I get this wrong. But he's the chair of the Los Angeles Community Action Team, or like I like to call them, LA Cat. He's going to be in studio so he can explain more about that. We also have Fred Mercer, and Fred is the national coordinator of Eagle Scout Parents, or ESP. So if you want to go ahead and grab line 1. Caller on line 1, you are on Firehouse Chefs Radio. Are you there?
Oh, okay. I guess that's me. Okay, my name's Dennis Smith, and I work with Captain Gerlich and with Nathan in regards to the communications for setting up intercommunications between the volunteer sector and how they would interface during times of need.
Okay. Well, welcome to Firehouse Chefs Radio. And did you want to explain a little bit about what you do as it ties into tonight's topic?
Yeah, probably it'd be better a little bit later on when Nathan gets on as well.
Okay. Well, did you want to go ahead and Nathan's going to be on in our next segment, so we can go ahead and we'll go ahead and let you go. We are going to be coming up on a commercial break, and I invite you to give us a call back. All righty, with that. Go ahead and hang it up, Luce. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Captain Gerlich, so that gentleman was...
So Dennis works with ham radio.
Okay.
And he's working a lot with trying to integrate a system where via like a Google Map kind of an idea. It's an APRS, and I'm sure he'll call back and explain that a little bit more. But But basically, when someone keys the mic on a ham radio, it would populate them on a map.
Okay.
And bring up their call sign.
So
Wow,
Big
that's
Brother
good.
really can find you.
Yeah, and but
the drone strike is going to get you.
exactly.
But there are times when you want them to find you.
Oh,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, very, very good. We are coming up on a commercial break. Like I said, tonight's going to be a jam-packed show with a lot of great, useful information. And we invite you to stay tuned to Firehouse Chefs Radio. This is episode 20. You're listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio on the Rant Radio Network. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, 2 things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number 1 Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number 1. There's only number 1. There's only number 1.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience. Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FHC Radio, and it is October 30th, 2013, and it is big episode 20. Episode 20 tonight. So I am Eddie Sell, the host of FireHouse Chefs Radio, and I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Luis Hernandez, LA County firefighter paramedic, and also the vice president of the Boys and Girls Club here in East Los Angeles. And he does a lot of great work for the community. So for that, and this is exactly what we're talking about, the community and giving back and taking part in your community. And I'm joined in studio by two captains from LA City Fire Department. We have Captain Stacy Gerlich and Captain Keith Scott. And we're going to go ahead and pick up our conversation on disaster preparedness, the CERT program, what that all means. It looks like we have possibly a caller on line one, I think Arvin's saying. So with that, why don't we go ahead and pick up our caller and see who it is. If it's that gentleman that called last time, we'll have to tell him that Nathan's not quite on.
Hello.
Hi there. You're on FireHouse Chefs Radio.
Hey, how's it going? Stacy, Keith, this is Pat Hayden.
Oh.
Hi, Chief.
Great. Hey, Chief.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to call and congratulate you guys on what you have going over there. Being a 25-year member of the fire department, I can tell you that what you guys are doing really helps to propel us towards the future. And, the idea that we can get out into the public and make a difference in terms of letting them know about preparedness is just a wonderful opportunity. And I congratulate and applaud both of you.
Well, thank you so much, Chief. I appreciate that. And we appreciate you calling in to FireHouse Chefs Radio. And yeah, with having this opportunity, this platform, it enables the community and our listeners to see the fire service in a totally different way. And I think, that's multiple shows, as you guys know, but there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what we do. And I try in any way possible to really show people, the faces behind those fire station walls, and let them know that we do really care about the community that we serve and protect, and that it's important for them to, really learn more about what we do, what kind of resources we offer, how highly trained we are in this day. People are shocked if they really see what our resumes look like and what we're responsible for day in and day out. So I do appreciate everything that you guys are doing as well within your community.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I can't say more about the fact that, this is really a lifelong pursuit for all of us.
Sure.
And the idea that we're trying to make a difference in our lives as well as our neighbors' lives really just, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I know I speak for all of you as well. And I tell you, I'm just thinking that as we move forward and we start to get this word out more and more, people will start to understand just, what a great fire department the Los Angeles City Fire Department is and what services we provide. So my congratulations again.
Oh, thank you very much. And we are also represented by a couple of other outstanding fire departments here.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. Who else do we have there?
Well, I this is Eddie Sell, the host of FireHouse Chefs. I actually work for Long Beach, and then
awesome.
And then we have Mr. Luis Hernandez here, who works for LA County. So, and
well, you guys rock also.
Yeah, you know what's cool. What's cool, Chief, is that through this project, I mean, literally, I have firefighters from all over the country, and when you hear that a lot of people they're sharing the same pain we are when it comes to budget issues and all those different changes that we've had to endure. So we're really in it together, so to speak. And disasters are another circumstance that brings us all together. And that's one of the things that the fire service has not only created, but now obviously law enforcement or other government entities look at the fire service in terms of incident command and all that stuff that they utilize in other areas. So it's great. It's great what we have here, in Southern California and California. We're the leaders with FireScope and all these different things. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a moment to redeem myself and say the fire service.
No, not a problem. I'm going to let you guys and the chief kind of, talk about your message then a little bit more while we have him on the phone right now.
Sure. Thanks. Before we go, I wanted to make sure that everybody got the website where they can find out about CERT classes or disaster awareness course classes. And that website is www.cert-la.com.
Okay.
You can get information on classes. You can get information on the program itself. It's a very, very good website that one of our volunteers, Linda Underwood, put together, and I get comments on it almost daily that it's an excellent.
Oh, it's great. Is that what you pulled up too, Louis?
Yeah, I have that on website right here.
Okay.
And question, as far as for classes, as you sign up for classes, what are the different class dates or class schedules you have lined up? Do you have just do you try to do 3 days? How is your schedule set up? So people are wondering.
It's structured to be taught over a 7-week period. And each class is 2.5 hours long. That adds up to 17.5 hours.
Okay.
We have made adjustments for companies. If they don't have that time to put in, we can do 2 classes at a time. We can do a number of things to accommodate whoever's requesting it. And also
business or organization.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Now, if they can't do the 17.5 hour course and they still want information, we also have a disaster awareness course that we've abbreviated to call it DAC, and it's a course that describes what you need to do in the event, how to prepare for an emergency, and those courses can be anywhere from an hour to 3 hours.
And Captain Gerlich, what are some of the things that are going to be covered, during a lot of these classes and training?
Well, to answer Lewis's question, I think what you were looking for is that the CERT classes for LA City are scheduled Monday through Friday. And they're typically in 14 to 16 locations throughout the week. So there's an abundance of them, and that's because Captain Scott has a designated set of instructors, and that's what they do. They're assigned, and that's why we're able to push out so many. And he just transferred in, so I'm not stepping on him, and I want to make sure that, that
he
doesn't.
Rookie.
No,
there it is.
but I had
The older rookie,
right?
I had 7 years of running it and administering, so I am a subject matter expert. I have the institutional knowledge, and it's a little bit of a hot seat for him. So I want to just put that out there for the listeners, make sure they understand.
Okay,
it's fun.
But
actually, I love it.
We're training 4,000 people a year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's phenomenal.
Okay.
And the DAC program is another concept that's great because of the people that can't commit to the 7 weeks. And then on top of the DAC, it's sort of an umbrella descriptor, but Ready Responder is another program. And that's about, remember, us as first responders being prepared, preparing our families so that we are able to go to work and feel comfortable that the families are okay at home and taken care of. And now I'm over at the what we call the Alliance, and with Chief Hayden on the phone, I'd really like to give him the opportunity. He's my commander. I'd like to give him the opportunity to talk about what that is and how that really ties into the show tonight and about the preparedness piece. So, Chief.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy. What we do in the Alliance, we're a multi-jurisdictional partner with Los Angeles County Fire Department, Los Angeles City Police Department, the LA County Sheriffs. We have several other regional partners as well. San Bernardino, Ventura County, and so forth. And we are tasked with catastrophic planning. Everything from evacuation and transportation, which is the project we're currently working on, all the way through mass care and shelter. They've also worked on a number of other programs prior to my arrival in the Alliance. And there's also a website if you would all like to make sure that gets noted as well. It's www.catastrophicplanning.org.
Okay.
You go there to our website, there's a list of all of the documents we've worked on. Most of those documents are at the guide and template, in the guide and template format, and they're probably at the 30,000-foot level, sort of taking a broader perspective, if you know what I mean, of catastrophic planning, ICS, nomenclature, and so forth. So very comprehensive documents. They're grant funded. We are all grant funded, and what we're essentially trying to do is to make sure that regionally we've prepared our citizens and our communities as best we possibly can for any large scale events.
Okay, that's great. And Captain Scott, did you have anything you wanted to tie in with Chief Hayden right now?
Well, he was absolutely right. It's just a matter of time. And when we watch the TV, we see what goes on around the world.
Sure.
Even if you go to a movie, they usually have something tied into some catastrophic event happening. So we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's so true. And I know with our department, working together with LA City and even LA County and just the regional agencies, just coming up with an active shooter. That's what reminded me of the movie theater, is the active shooter policy. And we are in that era that, when people want to copycat or for whatever purpose, unfortunately, these things are happening. And the fire service has to adapt to those current events. And it's very, very true. And Chief, we are going to come up on a commercial break, so if there's anything else you would like to add, go ahead and do so.
No, actually, I'd just like to thank you all, and again, fire service as a whole.
Come on, we know that LA City rocks. I'm just messing around.
Chief, real quick question. Yeah. No relation to Pat Hayden, USC?
He is my shorter, less smart whatsoever.
Okay, just wanted to ask.
Yeah, and Lewis is asking because he's a huge USC guy. So,
as well, I'm
all right, fight on.
That's it, fight on. That's right.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Battalion Chief Patrick Hayden from the Los Angeles Fire Department. Thank you so much for calling into Firehouse Chefs Radio, and stay tuned for the rest of the show so you can hear what's going on. Catch us at rantradionetwork.com on the internet, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you, Chief.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
All right, you're listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio. This is episode 20, and this is the Rant Radio Network. Stay tuned for more disaster prep. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
What's wrong?
I can't stop craving a cigarette. I just quit. Hey, what are you smoking on?
Oh, this? Best e-juice on the planet. Burst of flavor, of course.
What's that?
Only the best alternative to smoking with a great flavor. It has a burst of flavor in every puff.
Well, does it have nicotine?
It comes in different levels, including 0. They have 20 flavors and more coming. All the products are made in the U.S. Check them out at www.burstoflavor.com or call them at 855-WE-BURST.
Hey, let's burst together.
It's not just flavor, it's an experience. Cigarettes, you've met your match.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
ProTech Carpet and Tile Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, and grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs. We aren't just cleaning experts, we are restoration experts. We have saved our customers hundreds or even thousands of dollars on new flooring and upholstery expenses after we restored what they thought was permanent soil and damage. We are professionally trained and certified technicians. We specialize in damage restoration caused by heavy soil, odor, spot removal such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, oil, paint, nail polish, and many more. If you want the best in home cleaning and professional services, call us today at 562-447-4300. We are ProTech.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. This is FHC Radio. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Luis Hernandez.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. LA County firefighter and VP of the Boys and Girls Club of East LA. And if you have any events coming up with them, too, let us know about that.
Actually, I'll just plug it in right now since it's going to be off the topic.
Okay.
But this Saturday, actually, we're having a fundraiser for the East LA Boys and Girls Club. It's a Day of the Dead party. It's a fundraiser. It's going to be held at Quiet Canyon in the city of Montebello at the Quiet Canyon Montebello Country Club. It'll be held there in the main room, and it's just it's kind of a Halloween, but Day of the Dead themed party, and it's a fundraiser. Entrance is just a donation to the Boys and Girls Club. We're gonna have we have a 80s band playing. We have a DJ. We have a lot of prizes and giveaways and raffles, and all the money is going directly to the Boys and Girls Club. And it's actually going to fund our Thanksgiving dinner that we hold every year. It actually feeds over 1,200 people, local residents. They come on by and we feed about 12. I think 1,250 was their count last year, and this is going to be your 11th annual this year. And we just need some money because right now the economy's not doing too well,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, nonprofits we take a big hit. The nonprofit world takes a big hit just because money dries up everywhere else. Nonprofit people aren't willing to give as much, unfortunately. That's just a sign of the times. But I'm doing this and as my way to kind of give back to the Boys and Girls Club. And also, it's my birthday party, so you know it's going to be good.
Right. Nice.
But I got lots of good stuff coming for that event. So everyone's welcome to come on by. You can go on the website bgcela.org for more info, or you can look me up on Facebook.
Perfect. And it is Halloween tomorrow, by the way, so happy Halloween to everyone out there. And please, please, please be careful. Obviously, we see a lot of tragedy, unfortunately, so just make sure that you're very, very careful and you're watching for all those vehicles out there and all that other stuff. So
all the kids out there, you got to be careful.
Very careful. And okay, and let's just pick up our great topic tonight of disaster preparedness and the CERT program. We are joined in studio with LA City Captains Stacy Gerlich and Captain Keith Scott. And what we really want to talk about in this segment are a lot of the whys. And I know we talked about it during the commercial break. Why is CERT important? Why should the community get involved? And that's going to tie into bringing in our civilian folks that are in the private sector and tying in private and public and how we work together more than ever. So you guys can go ahead and pick it up.
Yep.
Well, the CERT program is great because it has three main goals. That's to teach the individual what to do in an emergency, and then also how he can prepare his family, and then his neighborhood.
Okay.
And that's where we like to emphasize. This is at a street level. We're actually talking to you and telling you how you can do it. Not a company, anything like that. This is an individual presentation.
You know, and if I may add, and I think, and I want everybody, all the listeners, to understand, and we need to put it in the context of the reason for CERT is because if you can imagine the big one, for example, like we've been waiting for here in California, all the fire department resources are going to be stretched so thin, or maybe freeways collapse, you know, infrastructure collapses. Literally, we're not going to be able to get to you. That's the whole point of CERT, you know, so you have the ability to protect yourself, your family, and your community, you know, because it could be hours or it could be days that you're going to be without food, water, shelter. So that's what it really comes down to in a basic sense. So I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of why it's so important.
I think, Ed, the other thing that's important to put out there is to say, let's go back a little bit in history. And 1933, the Long Beach quake, and then we had the 71.
Which killed Long Beach firefighters, by the way.
And we had the 71 Sylmar quake, and then we had the 87 Whittier Narrows quake, and then we had the Northridge quake. And, you know, the idea is we've had the history, right?
Sure,
but they've been a little bit more localized. 6 minutes into the Northridge quake, every LA City Fire Department, or every resource rather, was allocated on a 911 call. We have 106 fire stations in the city alone. We have 4 million people just in the city, right? In the operational area, the region that Chief Hayden was speaking, we're talking tens of millions of people. I mean, this is how enormous this is.
Right.
And the why is because we in the fire service, we and the police departments, we can't do it without the citizenry being prepared. It took almost a month before the folks in Japan got water. A month.
Yeah.
So the message that has been coming out, that we've all heard it, and we still talk about it, right, is the 72-hour be prepared.
Right.
We should be thinking 2 weeks minimum. And when I say we, that's inclusive. And I know that we're going to bring in Nathan and Fred pretty soon, but I'm going to just say it right now. We all need to have the public-private partnerships. We need to collaborate. We need to be inclusive, and we need everybody on board. And the things that we don't think about, we need to hear this from our citizenry. We need them to bring these topics to us so that we can address them, so that we can take care of it, so that we can be more prepared.
Okay.
And to prepare them also.
Now, does the site cover items that folks should have, that they should possess, during, like you mentioned, obviously, flashlight, batteries, whether it's like ration meals, water, that type of thing. Is there a pretty good list on there as well that's provided for the citizens?
Yeah, there is, but you get all of that in the CERT course.
Okay.
But if you're not taking the CERT course, all of the literature, the student manual, participant manual, there's a fabulous emergency preparedness booklet that's online, that's available, can be downloaded. There is a plethora of information out there.
And LAFD CERT on Facebook as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, great. And then let's just get into more of the why. I want to just beat this into people, about that. It is just a matter of time. I mean, it really is. And I know, and you mentioned the numbers of the LA fire department units that were tied up during the quake. And I know in San Diego, the San Diego Fire Department, which is a large agency, during the Cedar Fire, they just had the 10-year anniversary of the last real big firestorm in California, and there were literally no units available in the entire city of San Diego. So if you could just think about some of those things, and another emergency hits, whether it's loved ones having a heart attack, car accident, that's what we're talking about, folks, is that literally everybody is tied up. So it's very important to know some basics. Nobody expects anyone to be experts. We train in these different disciplines for years, but just having an idea will definitely save you and your loved ones.
The important factor also is, and you just hit on it, is that if the police department comes through and they're on the PA system and telling people to evacuate, that means evacuate. That doesn't mean that you have 20 minutes or a half an hour to gather your things. That means that's part of what I said earlier about having the plan and having a kit and being informed. So you have to be diligent about doing some of these planning processes and be ready to leave and out the door, because when you don't, then what happens is we're accountable. We
Right.
collectively, your first responders are accountable, and we take that very seriously. So rather than having to worry about just structure protection or trying to minimize the spread, the conflagration of the fire, now we have lives.
Sure.
Yes.
And that causes our anxiety levels to go up as well.
Right.
So this is not a scolding. This is together, a partnership, and we have to do this together, and we have to be on board.
Help us help you.
Absolutely.
That's very important. That's one of the things is that what I've been teaching CERT for 5 years, and the one thing that gets me it surprises me is that a lot of the residents don't get that, what you've just said. We've said it here multiple times just today, but they don't understand that we won't be there.
Right.
We really
Right.
won't be there.
No.
And I hate, as highly trained as we may all be, and all these firefighters and first responders may be best trained in the world, if they're not there, they're not helping. It's not helping you any.
If you
Right.
can't get there, I can't help you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, it's a lot of and a part of the CERT program, we talk about how doing the most good for the most number of people.
Right.
That's one of our
That's the motto.
mantras that we teach in the CERT program. And unfortunately, the fire department is going to be looking to do that, and probably won't be looking to go save that one person, but save the larger group in a larger area or a more more needed area. Unfortunately, these people are going to have to fend for themselves. And once the first day of CERT is over, I see a lot of people starting to click, like, wow, you know what? They're really not going to come.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, like you said, like 4 million in LA City alone, 4 million people for 106 stations. Overwhelm's going to be easy. And the county as well. It's just in our general area. We have a huge population, and in Southern California, there's a huge population, and no matter how big your fire department is, you're not going to have enough in a big disaster.
Nope.
The population's set to increase about 34% by 2030 in the city alone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it is, and the infrastructure.
It's already
there's
taxed,
so many things, right? I mean, we could talk about, but the critical infrastructure protection, just the roads alone,
Absolutely.
the water pipes and the gas and all those things. All of this,
and they're buckling. I mean,
they are.
Long Beach is an old city as well, same as Los Angeles, and there's a lot of things that are breaking. You know, and in this next minute, real quick before we go to our next commercial break, Stacy, why don't you talk about how we're going to tie in with our civilian partners and private and public coming together.
So again, prior to leaving the CERT program, I have been all over the world and have been teaching, and CERT is international.
Yes,
and
it
most
is.
of us know. It started in LA City, so the idea here is we want to keep going. We want to make it bigger, and the way that we're going to increase that footprint is we're going to now bring in the public-private partnerships, and we're going to build that more than we ever have before. You talked about budgeting, and you talked about just personnel.
Yes.
So that alone should hopefully make the hair stand up on the back of our citizens' neck to say, hey, you know what? We need you.
Right.
And the more that you can help us help you, then the better off we are all going to be. And that's where, Nathan and Fred come in, because these two gentlemen, I've been working with them for the last probably 5-6 years now.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, it's phenomenal how much work they do.
Well, we're going to get to meet Nathan and Fred, and you guys can't wait to meet Nathan. Trust me on that one. You're listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio on the Rant Radio Network. Give us a call at 855-969-RANT. Join the conversation. Thank you so much. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Add some crazy flavor to your vape pen. You're looking for something new and exciting in liquid vapor? Go to Crazy Cloud's e-Juice. Find them at burstoflavor.com and try any of the new 12 flavors they have available. Blueberry, mint, raspberry, chocolate, gummy bear, hemp, watermelon, cola, orange, pina colada, coconut, or Red Bully. Call us today at 855-WE-BURST or visit us at burstoflavor.com and order yours today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services. In particular, through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation. Research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one tequila.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
the
on.
old-fashioned way. Never mass produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one tequila.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. I am your host, Eddie Sell, and I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Luis Hernandez.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
También, gracias. You didn't know that we were like bilingual, right?
Yes.
And
Nathan's looking at me like, what just happened?
And it's been a great topic. Yeah, great topic tonight of talking about something very, very important, disaster preparedness. And obviously we live here in Southern California that is just prone to wildland fires, earthquakes, floods, riots, you name it, you know.
According to everybody else in the rest of the country, we're going to be all gone or when the big one hits, right?
Well, if you saw that movie 2012, we're going to eventually sink into the ocean. So, but before that happens, yeah, let's make sure that we are prepared. And we wanted to thank our guests from the Los Angeles Fire Department that were on earlier. We had Battalion Chief Patrick Hayden. We had Captains Stacy Gerlich and Keith Scott. And now we are joined by the civilian and the private partnership side of things. So we're happy to have Nathan Wolfstein, who, if you can remember his title again, and there'll be a quiz on this at the end, Nathan is the chair of the Los Angeles Community Action Team, or like we like to call it what, Louis, you remember?
Alley Cat.
Yeah. And we also have Mr. Fred Mercer, and Fred is the national coordinator of the Eagle Scout Parents, and that's ESP. For short. So welcome both to Firehouse Chefs Radio and to this great topic tonight.
Very good, Eddie. Thank you. We're happy to be here for the 20th show.
Thank you very much. And you might want to come just a little closer, Nathan, to your or pull the mic closer to you. There you go. All right. Well, obviously our uniformed partners kind of told us a lot about their end of things. So why don't you gentlemen explain, where you guys come in terms of CERT, disaster prep for the community?
Well, let me start with that. About 7 years ago, Captain Gerlich was actually our instructor when my wife and I took CERT. Unfortunately, at the time, my wife had gone blind. And so we got very nervous about if anything should happen, how is she going to take care of everything? So somebody suggested we should take a CERT class, and that's how I happened to meet Captain Gerlich. And then over that time, we really saw the need to be more prepared and by knowing what to do. And so then started getting involved and working with the Los Angeles CERT Command with Captain Gerlich, and found out that there was a lot we could do. And what we really needed were more volunteers to be trained, and then more trained volunteers to continue being trained so they kept up to date.
Okay, perfect. And we do have a caller on line one. Louis, go ahead and let's pick it up and see who we have. Caller, you're on Firehouse Chefs Radio.
Yeah, this is Dennis Smith calling in. I was going to mention to
Nathan in regards to the communications between the volunteer sector and the public safety sector.
Okay, Dennis, welcome. And Nathan is on with us right now live on Firehouse Chefs Radio. So if Nathan, you might have a specific thing that Dennis should cover real quick.
Well, first let me express that former Assembly Member Bob Blumenfield, who's now Council District 3 council member, we want to thank the council member for actually having helped form the VPREP task force. And the VPREP task force was a whole community endeavor and an advisory council, and has three primary purposes: preparedness, communication, and relief. And Dennis is on that advisory council, serving as the chair of the subcommittee for communications, and specifically ham radio communications. And as Dennis can tell you, and others will say, will share, when we have a major disaster like an earthquake, our phone systems and communications are going to go down. Texting will last, but then it will go down. And we feel the most viable form of emergency and disaster communications at that time will be ham radio.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Dennis, we really appreciate all that you do and keeping that that skill, if you will, up and running. And did you have anything else you'd like to share before we let you go and continue our conversation here?
Okay, just it'll not only be incorporating amateur radio as well, but that would also be including the commercial radio systems, not broadcast radio, but the radio systems that are used in taxi cabs, tow truck companies, and all this, as a resource to the private sector, as a conduit to the private sector, so that those resources can be directed to where needed.
Okay. Well, those are great points, and we can go ahead and pick up that once we let you go. We really appreciate you calling, Dennis. Have a good evening.
Okay, sure thing.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Okay, let's let Fred speak, because before you know it, this lovely time is over with.
Time's
So
gonna be over.
yeah.
Nathan and I have been working, especially with Eagle Scout parents. We felt that this was kind of an untapped resource that had been not used to its best use. And both Nathan and I have been involved in scouting for a number of years. And so Nathan co-founded the Eagle Scout Parents Association. And
what haven't you done, Nathan?
There's a lot in it. I never cooked for 1,000 people.
I was hey, by the way, what are you doing tomorrow night? I need somebody on my food truck.
To work?
Yeah.
Or to eat?
Both. I'll let you eat for free if you work it. Okay, go ahead, Fred. Sorry.
That's all right. So anyway, we've been working on, in association with Eagle Scout Parents, we've been working on some disaster preparedness events. And in fact, you attended one of them a few weeks ago at Station 88. And 87, I'm sorry. And 2 weeks ago, we just had one at the Los Angeles Council Boy Scout office, store, actually. And we had a great turnout, had a lot of scouts there, and a lot of good training went on. We had CPR training going on. We had ham radio training going on. We had some Dutch oven cooking going on.
Oh, there we go.
So we had a big variety of types of things to teach the boys and the parents of things they need to be prepared for in case of a disaster. And we just wanted to promote those. And if you go to our website at bemoreprepared.com, you'll also see a listing of upcoming events that we have planned.
I see that here.
Perfect.
The next event we have is Saturday, November 16th at the San Gabriel Valley Scout Store. And that's a preparedness fair and sale. So we have that. And you have a couple other events coming up also as well, actually, in Antelope Valley. So you guys are a wide region. You guys are...
Yeah.
Right.
How big is your group, the ESP?
Well, actually, the Eagle Scout Parents is the largest single alumni category for the Boy Scouts of America.
Okay.
And what we're doing is connecting that alumni with Rotarians and other community service organizations, and that's part of our public-private sector partnership.
That makes a lot of sense.
So there's the
especially with the Scouts. I mean, be prepared.
Right.
I mean, that's what we're all about. That's what we're talking about here, is be prepared. It's a really good. It's a great partnership, I believe. I have 2 boys that were in Scouts also, so I see this as something it goes hand in hand. That's something that's really great, and it's really good for the community, especially with this good tie-in of always being prepared, especially for the big one and all the different disasters that we may have to face.
Right.
Yes. Well, you see, on the LA Cat, as you guys call it,
LA Cat.
LA Cat. Here is the goal from the city council. The city of Los Angeles wants to increase the number of trained volunteers from currently approximately 60,000 to 10% of population, or 400,000. So what Captain Gerlich and Captain Scott and Be More Prepared are working on in these partnerships is how to do that. And we're going to do that by expanding the definitions and applications of a trained volunteer. So, for instance, the CERT volunteer may become the Delta Force of trained volunteers.
Okay.
And then we'll have trainings with teens, seniors, handy-capable,
Right.
homeless, and go from there. And just to add one other dimension, next April, and again, Captain Gerlich was instrumental in working with us on this, we'll have the 3rd annual Los Angeles Fire Department CERT refresher and scenario exercise on the Tejon Ranch. That's our 3rd annual, followed by the 1st annual Teen Youth Preparedness Training. And this year we have not only the city of Los Angeles, but 5 counties participating.
Oh, that's great. And that's what you're going to find is you're going to find, even though it's originated here with the Los Angeles Fire Department, it's continued to grow in the different regional areas, and it's great. And then something that Fred brought up, obviously the cooking with the Dutch oven, right? That's our realm. So I'm proud to announce that FireHouse Chefs is going to be tied in with a lot of these future events, and cooking during the time of disaster is very, very important. Figuring out what your resources are and how you can kind of make do with what you have and still make it taste good somehow, right?
Yes. Right. Well, one other event that we hope you'll be joining us with and we'll talk about is on December 7th at the California Army National Guard Armory in Van Nuys. It's the Operation Gratitude March to a Million and a full LA CERT urban area training exercise in logistics, transportation, evacuation, and communications.
That's awesome. Well, why don't you go ahead and give the information one last time? Give out your website, please, Nathan.
The website is www.bemoreprepared.com, and to check our events, just click on the link that says Events.
Okay, perfect. And I wanted to thank Fred as well. And Fred, do you have anything else, any social media or anything that people could find you, or is that the best way?
That's the best way, through that website.
Okay, so thank you guys so
much.
much.
And also for those that are not in the LA area, Southern California area, like Cam Gerlich said, CERT is international. Just go on your website, type in CERT and local area that you belong to, and something should come up and something. And remember, all these classes are free. Most of them, I believe, are free. They're free. They're fairly funded through FEMA. So go out there, get prepared, and take these classes. You'll love them.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was a great topic, and we appreciate the people that were on hold that we dropped you tonight. Sorry about that, but thanks for calling in, and make sure you catch FireHouse Chefs Radio every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the rantradionetwork.com, and make sure you find this episode and past episodes archived also at rantradionetwork.com. And I also wanted to just remind everybody that this was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so for those folks in the fire service wearing the pink shirts, we really wanted to just say thank you for keeping that alive and well. And this Sunday, November 3rd, is actually the annual gala dinner for the Firefighter Cancer Support Network. So one of our prior guests, Michael Dubron, was here in studio. He has a great organization that he started, so thanks again for that. Catch us next week. This is FireHouse Chefs Radio. Catch us on all of our FireHouse Chefs social media. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in to FHC Radio. Catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time by visiting firehousechefs.com and rantradionetwork.com.